And we have 6 people signed in to testify on that, all of whom are remote. Julie, are you briefing us?
Yes, I am. For the record, Julie Murray, staff to the committee, presenting Substitute House Bill 1784, an act concerning hunger relief. The United States Department of Agriculture Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, which is also called the Basic Food Assistance Program in Washington, provides monthly federally funded benefits for eligible people with low incomes to use to purchase food. During the COVID-19 public health emergency declaration, the federal government temporarily increased its financial support for the Basic Food Assistance Program. This temporary increase ceased at the end of this February. In addition to the Basic Food Assistance Program, several state agencies operate food programs. Substitute House Bill 1784 would provide a total of $28 million supplemental funding for fiscal year 23 for 3 state programs. The first is $20 million of general fund state for the Washington State Department of Agriculture to provide grants to hunger relief organizations for actions to support food security in the state, including the purchase of food supplies, investments in storage capacity, management of facilities and operations, and other activities necessary to support food security for the public. $2 million general fund state is appropriated for the Department of Health's Fruit and Vegetable Incentive Program. Then there is also $6 million general fund state for the Department of Social and Health Services Aging and Long-Term Care Administration Program for distribution to area agencies for the aging for its senior nutrition services. The bill provides that priority is to be given to seniors most impacted by the loss of federal resources for basic food assistance that were provided during the COVID-19 pandemic. The bill contains an emergency clause and would be effective immediately with the governor's signature. And with that, I conclude my remarks.
Does anybody have any questions? I have a question, Julie. Technically, this is a bill that came over from the House, and they were referring to it as early action. And so it would go into effect faster than most of the bills that we're considering right now, than the House bills. Is it coming out of the supplemental appropriation? Is that how it's working?
This is in addition to the supplemental budget. You obviously could write your budget to be consistent with it, but I think the term of early action is that if you were to pass this bill unamended, it would be a 5-day bill for the governor in terms of signing and then be effective immediately, versus the supplemental budget would normally comes out with the biennial budget and is subject to negotiations and usually happens near the end of session.
Understood. So would it be coming out of our supplemental budget?
It'd be in addition to it.
So it'd show up in 23.
It'd be immediately available for spending.
Okay. All right, anybody else? All right, let's have a public hearing. We have 6 people signed in to testify. First person that I have on my list is Lynn Campbell. And then after Lynn is Linda Nagiotti, Brian Clark, and then Miranda Wilson. So let's start with Lynn.
All right. Well, hello. My name is Lynn Kimball, and I'm here to testify in support of House Bill 1784 on behalf of the Washington Association of Area Agencies on Aging. Area Agencies on Aging coordinate and fund senior nutrition services throughout Washington state. Senior hunger is real, and deciding between food, medication, and rent is a daily dilemma faced by those we serve. Many seniors we serve depend on SNAP to afford groceries every week. The average senior SNAP beneficiary will lose $168 per month in benefits due to the Social Security COLA in January, combined with low household size. Having flexible funding released quickly will help us bridge the loss in SNAP benefits for seniors and will help us get people fed. We urge you to support House Bill 1784. Thank you.
Best background of the day.
I was going to say, is that Spokane?
Yes.
It is.
All right. Next up is Linda.
Good afternoon, Chair Rolfes, members of the committee. I'm Linda Najat, CEO of Food Lifeline, speaking in support of House Bill 1784. Food Lifeline is a large food bank distributor. We serve 415 neighborhood food banks, meal programs, shelters, and food distribution sites across 17 counties of Western Washington. This year, we will distribute 70 million pounds of food to these agency partners, enough to provide more than 58 million meals. More than 1 million people in Western Washington alone will be recipients of this food. This may sound like an enormous amount of food, but it's not. Food Lifeline, like all organizations working to address food insecurity, has experienced an enormous increase in the need for food. This spike began last summer when federal pandemic food support programs expired and inflation kicked in. We've stretched our current resources to the limit, sourcing as much food as we can with the funds we've had available. For example, we've expanded our produce sourcing from 4 truckloads of fruits and vegetables per week to as many as 9 or 10. It hasn't been enough. Our warehouse empties out as quickly as we can fill it. And now this month, critical SNAP benefits have expired, removing $93 million in food support each month for Washington SNAP recipients. We're bracing for this impact. Our system needs help to respond. House Bill 1784 includes critical resources to address this loss of food aid. Every one of our state's citizens deserves adequate access to food today, tomorrow, always. While we're advocating today for your passage of this early action bill, we also want to acknowledge that it's only one part of a broader hunger response that is needed as you consider the state's 2-year budget. We hope you'll address this need by supporting both this immediate action as well as longer-term responses to hunger and its root causes. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Brian Clark, are you available?
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good evening, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Brian Clark, and I live in Issaquah, and that's in King County. I receive SSDI because I'm unable to work any longer due to a physical disability, and I use SNAP in an effort to eat healthy meals every day. Even with the SSDI that I qualify for, I'm still unable to pay all of my living expenses and also afford to eat 3 meals per day. So while my current SNAP benefits is very limited, at least I'm not starving, and I am grateful for that. As you are aware, during the pandemic, SNAP emergency allotments to SNAP households were granted. This emergency food benefit supplement was in addition to the amount that I would normally qualify to receive. During this time, the amount of SNAP food assistance that I received each month was at the maximum amount that I could qualify for. So I was receiving approximately $250 per month. Now that the emergency allotments has ended, I will be receiving approximately $90 per month. And this is with my compensation for my out-of-pocket medical expenses included. This is worrisome for me as, once again, I'll be forced to cut my general expenses just so I'll be able to eat enough to survive and not starve. Things like haircuts, toothpaste, shampoo, reasonable clothing, and many more average everyday things will once again become a very tough acquisition for me. What's worse is that I really won't be eating anywhere near as healthily as I was during the SNAP emergency allotments because I live on a fixed low income. Please keep in mind that during the emergency food benefit supplements, I wasn't eating extravagantly. I was just finally able to afford the total cost of actually eating 3 complete meals every day. House Bill 1784 will help me because whenever I shop for fruits and vegetables at Safeway, I'm able to take advantage of the Produce Match program. This allows for me to receive a bonus or credit for eating nutritious foods regularly. So when I spend $10 on fruits and vegetables, I get a coupon with my receipt for an additional $5 in fruits and vegetables at no extra cost to me. Thank you all for your time and for listening to me. Please support House Bill 1784.
And Brian, thank you for sharing your experience with us. Miranda Wilson.
Hello. Thank you, Chair and committee members. My name is Miranda. I'm the programs manager at Helping Hands. I'm here today on behalf of Helping Hands and those we serve across Skagit County in support of House Bill 1784. We are seeing an increase in need across the county in all 6 food distribution locations, as well as our programs focused on seniors, homebound, and children nutrition programs. We are having to decrease the amount of food going out to those in need as our numbers continue to grow. Some examples are we are having to place limits to 1 serving per family of protein. Less available food for ordering, and store pickups are very scarce. Dairy is hardly ever available, and all the while, the need continues to grow. While we are seeing cuts in government programs, the need is rapidly growing. Sourcing food is more difficult. We are hearing from our families seeking resources to feed their families, as well as seniors who depend on programs to have their nutritional needs met. House Bill 1784 will help us get nutritious food to those most in need. We would like you to vote this bill in quickly to get resources to those who are in need now and will continue to be for the foreseeable future. This issue of hunger is not only with us now, but will continue to be with us long term. Please consider this while writing the 2-year operating budget. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Charlie Thompson.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I am Charlie Thompson, Executive Director for North Kitsap Fishline based in Paulsbo. I urge you to support HB 1784. The need for food support has been steadily increasing for some time. Now that the COVID SNAP benefits have ended, the need for our food bank has increased even more. In fact, in recent months, we have experienced an increase 100-fold, doubling year over year of new households accessing our food bank. We have incredible grocer partners who provide us with their excess fresh produce, bakery product, meat, and other staples for our food bank. In recent months, we have seen the volume of food from them decrease by 25%. We are also impacted by inflation. We must purchase more food due to the increased need, and it costs us more to do so. The current need is showing no indication that it will decrease. Without additional resources, we will have to consider decreasing the frequency that our neighbors can access the food bank, decrease the amount of food available, and have to compromise on our standards of ensuring fresh produce, milk, eggs, and other staples are available. I ask you on behalf of our neighbors in need to please support HB 1784. Please support increased resources to address hunger in Washington. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrea Blue. Andrea.
Thank you.
Oh, there we are.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry. Technical difficulty, but thank you for your patience. Thank you, Chair and committee members. My name is Andrea Blue, and I'm President and CEO of Making a Difference Foundation. Making a Difference runs Eloise Cooking Pot, which is located in East Tacoma in a food desert, serving in Pierce in South King County, making this the largest BIPOC-led independent food bank in both counties. We support House Bill 1784 as we are in desperate need of food for our clients, in which 40% of them are children and seniors. This year alone, we have seen a 35% increase in people using LOEs. As of last month, we served over 62,000 people, distributing over 1.5 million pounds of food. While we've seen a steadily increase in clients, we have seen a significant decrease in food donations, over 50%, while food prices have surged to unspeakable numbers. Within less than 2 months of this year, we have spent 40% of our yearly food purchasing budget just to keep up with the pace of demands. It is our fear that without funds infused into the food system, we would have to begin to limit service and give less food to families. We beg you to pass this bill and not put us in the position of deciding who gets food and who does not, as we believe access to food should be a basic right. So we encourage the committee and the Senate to pass and vote this bill very quickly so resources can hit the ground. Please help us provide food to our clients by voting yes on this bill. We desperately in need of immediate relief, but the problem of the hunger and the depth of need will be with us for long term, and encourage you to consider that with writing the 2-year budget. Thank you very much for your time, and we appreciate you allowing us to speak, and we urge you once again to pass House Bill 1784.
And thank you for joining us, and thank you for your good works. That concludes our public hearing.